Hi guys, how are you today? I'm back here on a cold, rainy night in the fall. Ooh, girl, still making jam, needing the things, right? Needing all the things. So with all of the extra honey hives that I've put in, and by always making sure that I have the Good Samaritan bonus going, I have managed to get up to, what do we have today? 446 bee or honey today. That's pretty good because I've put in over 200. We had 66 before, so almost 200 hives extra, and then getting them doubled. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I haven't been bothering with the ones that the farm hands do. I mean, you've hired them, you gotta get out of their way and let them do their job, right? That's what you do. Twisty Maze is back and forth again. Okay, I was on his farm today, and I'm going to have to ask him to let me go over there and do a recording. It is the prettiest farm. I love what he's doing. He's got this, okay, and because, again, inspiration comes when it comes, right? I've got to add something to my farm now. I want a little patch of forest somewhere. I know this is supposed to be a working farm in the Netherlands, but come on, any kind of decent farm is going to want a patch of wood somewhere. I think it's just, yeah, we need a wee forest someplace, maybe with a little pond with it or a small river running through it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the details, but I know that I now need a wee forest because I want it to look like his. So where am I going to put it? I mean, really, where? I mean, there's places. You know what? This little peninsula right down here, the place where the river meets the ocean, we could put between 7 and 8. I think right there, between the 7 and 8, we could put a little forest down there. I think so. Done. I need to. So I'm trying to remember what the jeebers I showed you guys yesterday. Now, one thing I am thinking about doing, oh, for real, this could hurt too. I know it's going to hurt. No, actually, it's not could. I know it's going to hurt because I have done it before and I found it really difficult. So I went back to the normal way of playing. You can set it so that all of these little pink boxes and the baskets and the things don't show. And there is a part of me that genuinely wants to do that and just never have to see them in the farm. And then I could do things like plant a lovely mixed forest using some of the flowering trees and, you know, things like almonds or the cherry trees or whatever, or the cloves, lots and lots and lots of cloves, and turn it into a really pretty forest and not have these things hanging over the top all the time. And I'm actually thinking about doing that. And I think I have played it, and it makes it tough. You don't know when things are ready to harvest. You've just got to go over and look. You just can't see off in distance that something is okay. You've either got to recognize what it looks like when it's completely ready, or, you know, you just have to take the time to go check it out. But I am thinking about doing that. And I spoke to somebody one day, and they said that is the hard mode from hell. That's a quote. And it's different. It is a very different game. And it does take a fair, you know, all of our cues, all of our visual cues are just gone. So you're kind of running around. It looks really nice though. And I'm thinking about changing the rest of this game to that, actually. Although I will talk to Twisty Maze and possibly Lucy about it before I do that, because they are on the farm a lot, and I don't actually want to, you know, give my friends massive stress or anything like that, right? I'm not ready to do that yet, so we'll see. We'll have to see. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I had to go over to Eridich. I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, and I need to have a wee check around there again and do some harvesting and take care of a few things. But for today, so today I've still got all of this stuff to do. This entire section here is a mess. Actually, you know what? This isn't done yet. Let's go down here and have a wee looky at what actually needs to be finished. So right here, okay, I can see a lot of things that need to be finished, but we're going to start with this one. Now what I've done with these is put them right here, right next to the barn. They're all in the same place because, again, I'm thinking, you know, the plumbing will have gone in at the time, you know, the barn, the barn has plumbing inside, and probably this would have been added at the same time. So, you know, you want that to be as efficient as possible. So we have found a method that works, and we will just repeat it. And we will add this. We're going to have to feed some of the critters. The horses are over there in their pasture today. It's a winter day, but there's not too much snow on the ground. They can kick that off and do a little grazing there. They'll be just fine. Some of my horses used to love going out in the winter, and others not so much, but you know, they're all different. Oh, one of the horses I had, he was insane. He really didn't like the cold very much, and he got very, very, very fuzzy, so you wouldn't have thought he would have noticed that much. But if I was outside, like burning brush, or which I did, I mean, I had a couple of different properties, but they were both, you know, very wild at the time I bought them. It was very much taking a plot of bushland and turning it into something. So there was always, you know, underbrush to burn. There was always trimmings to do. There was always places that needed to be cleared, trails that needed to be cleared. So there were always, you know, we were always burning something quite often. And a lot of times we would just let it sort of sit through the spring and fall, or spring and summer, which are very busy times, you know, with horses and haying and crops and things. You know, you're doing a lot of that cutting and stuff at that period of time. And into the fall. The fall was often a very, very busy time for clearing brush and getting on with it because it was cooler. And some of the underbrush had died, so you could actually see things better. You know, it was easier to plan out perhaps where a trail would be and stuff like that. But you still have to cut the stuff. Even if the leaves are falling off, you still got to cut this stuff, and it's got to be burnt, right? So we'd have these big bonfires in the fall and in early winter particularly. And this one horse loved the fires. I know it seems counterintuitive, but he loved the fires, and he'd come over and want to hang out at night and be as close as he could possibly get to the fire. And all his hair, he'd have these long fuzzy hair, and it would be all singed. You could smell the hair burning. He'd get so close to the bonfire, he would just be all, and you know, it's all curly at the end and stuff like that. He'd get right into it, and it's just like, my horse is just going to go in flames someday. He used to kind of worry. It's like, what if it just starts to burn? Like, what's going to happen to him? Oh my goodness, it was. But he loved it. He loved to just get right in close to the bonfires and just cook up. He thought it was great. A daft horse. He was fun. He's a good boy. I liked him. Actually, he was stubborn and quite adventuresome on occasion. He could be a little hard-headed. He had opinions about things, but he sure was. I loved him. God, he was so much fun to be around. He was a good guy. And he was the only horse I had that was trained for both saddle and for harness. So he was my winter sleigh horse, which was always fun. Getting what are they called? Not like a canteen, but they're made of leathers. I can't remember what they're called, but you put booze in them. They're soft. Not a canteen. There's something else for them, but it's a pouchy type thing that you could put liquids in, and you put a nice brandy or something in that, and then out you go. And put a nice thermos of hot chocolate or something like that, a blanket over your legs, and out with the horses in the sleigh. He was always the guy to do that. And like I said, he could be an adventure. He could get it into his head that we had to go faster than the rest of us thought was a good idea, and he could be a lot of fun. He was a good guy. I liked him, but he was always fun to do fires with. If you were burning somewhere that he couldn't reach, he'd be trying to climb through the fence. He wasn't. Some of the horses I had, their first instinct was to jump, right? They just go over the top. It's like, no problem. One of the mares I had, she could just, from a standstill, literally from a standstill, she could just pop a 6-foot fence, which is what I showed her at was jumping, because she was amazing. But he just would try to climb through. He'd get his head and one leg through, and then he's trying to get the other one. Oh my goodness. And of course then you have to let him out, because he would just keep doing that. I was always afraid he would get stuck and then panic and then, either hurt himself or just rip the fencing to shreds. He's popped more than one rail trying to climb through, so you just go let him out, and he'd come walking over all happy and cuddle up beside the fire with you, and you get, loose all evening, no problem, no fencing, the road's right there. He wasn't going anywhere except by the fire, so he was good. He was a happy camper. He was a fun horse. He was my winter sleigh horse, so he hung out with me in the winter when we were burning lots of stuff, and I don't know. I'm not sure why I started thinking about that, but it was a good time. All the singed hair. And then you see him the next day, you go to grooming, right? You got long fuzzy hair, and then the one side of him, you go around the back of the horse and you go to the other side and it's just all singed. Oh my goodness. It's all short and crispy over on the other side. He was brilliant. That's my boy. But good times. Anyway, so we are working on finishing this up. It looks like I've got most of it done except for just these. Oh, no, there's more. I'm sorry. There is definitely more to do. So these bare places, these are where I will put the farmhands, of course, and a way to get out. It's got the roads, so if we're leaving this section, we can head out. We got horses over there. I've noticed there's no gate leading into their pasture, so that's no good. We're going to have to take care of that. But along here, I have also been planting some trees. These Earth Day trees that, oddly enough, look like, earth. Just a few of those here and there. I want the barnyard to be comfortable. I mean, this feels like a factory farm. I be honest, it's a little creepy. That's a lot of animals. Man, that's a lot of animals, guys. That's a whole heap of critters in here. But, they seem to have a decent amount of space. I just want to make sure it's shady and comforting and it's not too dreadful a place to live. So we're adding a few different kinds of trees here and there. And then lots of the little birch because they are my favorite and they're very pretty. And I think I was doing something like 2 or 3 trees per section here like this. So I think 3. If it wasn't 3 before, it's going to be 3 now. And not making them, I mean, trees don't always grow in the straight lines that you plant them in, right? They wander. They're like wannabe ants. They you put them in a place and then you line them up, you make a row of trees, and then you go, wow, they're not straight anymore. It's what they do. I mean, these will be straight because they have no choice. There's fencing and other things going on, but I don't know that they'll be evenly spaced all the time, is all I'm saying. There we go. Over here, it's just these. And I like them back along here because using this alley, then we've got the trees on both sides, and that always feels nice when I'm in a closer view with the camera. It feels pretty good. It's kind of pleasant. And we'll put one here, and we'll put one here. And I think this is pretty close to being completed. And then I've got the goat section yet to do, and I've still got to decide where I'm putting the honey and the jam and all that stuff. So I think this is done. And I still don't know what I'm doing that field there under the number 19 way shrine. I don't know what to do with that exactly, but it'll, we'll sort it out. It's no big deal. So I've got the lighting at all the intersections where the farmers go. So at night I can look ahead and see exactly where they're supposed to be. And that feels kind of good. You know, I can, because it's, you know, it's a little harder to see in the game at night, but this way it's like, oh, I know where the intersections are. You know how far you have to haul something. And I use those blank spots and lights as a navigation thing to sort of know which, you know, how far am I running with the farmhand when I move him to a new place. And we have none of the animals are up for quest right now except the cow over here, and he's being looked after. Right now, and quite possibly into the future, the 4 farmhands that are with the cows may just be permanent fixtures there. Although I think I'll be taking out one of the goats and putting in the purple horses there that give you the that give us the nuggets, because then these other places that have got farmhands, there's 1, 2, 3 farmhands that are going to be freed up to go into the barnyard area. That'll be quite helpful actually, because I'm at the maximum farmhands now. So there we go. Anyway, it's coming along. The place is coming along. A lot has happened. It seems like once it's, you know, once you start getting there, then it's feeling like it's going quite fast. I mean, there's a bazillion details. And now I do want a forest because, yeah, I'm going to have to ask Twisty Maze if I can go and record on his farm, because there are some views that are so beautiful. And they're just, you know, they're not big, grand, da-da-da-da. It'll just be a quiet little place that just makes me happy. He's definitely given me some thought about things that I'm going to want to change and or add in here. Or how, you know, or my next farm. Ooh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Okay, I just went off into a la la land of, oh my goodness, now I have new ideas for another farm. Well, new to me, not new because, you know, he's doing them, but yeah, there's some things I would like to try that I haven't done, that I've seen over there, and it's quite, I love being on his farm. It's very pleasant. Anyway, there we go. This one is short, but I'm busy, and I just wanted to show you the animals here and to get that completed, and I think we have. I think for the most part this is done now. Like I said, there are details. This alleyway back here between, I'm either going to have to decide whether or not to put in roads here or to add trees along here. Oh, look at the northern lights. What a beautiful, beautiful evening. Cold winter, early winter evening. You know it's snapping cold when the aurora borealis come out. It usually feels pretty good. See, I like coming along here and seeing the trees on either side. It feels quite nice. But again, the question becomes, do I path this? Do I pave it over? Or do I plant trees? Quite frankly, whoops, I don't need you. For the most part, I'm not sure how often I will run up and down here, to be honest, because I'll be in here mostly just to be moving a farmhand. So I'll be picking one up here and hauling him to the next place, or, you know, picking him up at an intersection, zooming north or south this way, and then moving him to wherever he's going to be in the next row or something like that, right? So I don't know if I need that to be paved, which just means more trees. And I think in this particular setting, with so many little pens like this, more trees might be a really, really welcome break. More trees, more better. Oh, and now we have a rainbow. Beautiful spring day. Early spring, the aurora borealis just disappeared, and now we have a rainbow. Anyway, there we go, folks. Take care. I hope you are having yourself a good day, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks for everything you do.